Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion in the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can find on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Here, I will discuss the card that sits on the side of the page. We'll do a quick review of the day's astrology, and then we'll draw another card that may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that sits on the side of the page today has changed. It is now the Five of Wands because the Five of Wands represents the first 10 days of the sun's transit in the land of Leo. And the sun makes ingress to Leo this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So, Leo is a fire sign. Wands are the fire of the fire element of the tarot, and fire element has to do with spark, fire, inspiration. I want to say initiative and drive. Okay, so whatever it is that really makes you want to be active and get moving in that direction. And, it sort of represents our passions, and it can also sort of represent, the drive to achieve, and therefore it kind of represents achievements as well, from my perspective. So here we have the Five of Wands, and we can see that there are 5 people with sticks here. The sticks are the wands, and they seem to be in some sort of disagreement, or I like to call it a fight or a fracas, right? And so we get an air of there being some competition here, perhaps a little bit of conflict, a little bit of a struggle maybe for dominance. But also I think of this as really just a show of power, because as you can see, these people are all sort of hitting above the belt. Nobody's really getting hurt. It doesn't appear as though anybody's in real danger in this conflict. Okay, so we're just kind of waving our sticks about and seeing, who will back off and let us let us take the lead, right? And that's all right. A little competition is healthy. A little rivalry even is not such a bad thing if it helps us. If it helps us, sort of hone our drive in the right direction. If it helps us to succeed at whatever it is we're passionate about doing, then competition is definitely something that will keep people in the game. So, remember this when you are among people that you work with, or people who have similar passions and drives to you, especially if you're trying to collaborate, that there can be these little struggles for dominance. We've got a little bit of that on the page today with the sun in opposition to Pluto. There can be some struggles for control, or just to gain dominance in a situation. And understand that, in certain situations, a little bit of friendly sparring is considered appropriate. And we don't want to, notice that somebody is sparring with us and assume they've gone to war and just, pull the, pull the sharp sticks out, right? Keep your blunt stick out. Give as good as you get, okay? And with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some cards while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Cancer till about 3 o'clock this afternoon, Central Standard Time, friends. And then it will make ingress to the sign of Leo. So the sun was in Cancer for about 30 days. Venus is also in Cancer for the last 5 or 6 days of that sun transit. And Cancer is really a time when a time and a vibe that seeks to initiate nurture, initiate care, and initiate protection of ourselves and others, and basically the people and things, spaces that we hold the most dear. And as we transition into Leo, we kind of take, one thing I love about Cancer is that Cancer has the courage of its convictions. So when a person who has a lot of Cancer energy about them, or when we are feeling our Cancer vibes really well, then if we feel that we know the right answer, we're certain about it, and we move forward confidently. Especially when it comes to wanting to initiate care with somebody, we just kind of say, "Oh, look at that one. That one needs to be fed. We're going to make sure that one gets some food, right?" And we feel confident about that, and we just go ahead and take care of it. The confidence of that cardinal water carries over into the fixed fire, but it's a different kind of confidence because it's really sort of like royalty. Okay. Leo is ruled by the sun, whereas Cancer was ruled by the moon. Leo is ruled by the sun. So, and the sun is the reigning king of the sky. Without the sun's light, we wouldn't have any of this life on Earth. Okay. So it really is the answer to all of our ultimate questions about how we got to be here. So, you know, the sun, if you think about it, definitely sort of rules our days, especially at this time of year when the days are much longer than the nights, right? And even in the winter time, we require a little bit of sunlight to keep the planet from just completely freezing over on us. So, it's something that we need. It's something that we love and appreciate, sunlight, and it is you know, there's no substitute for it. So, being sort of the reigning monarch of our lives, the sun as it is, expressed through Leo, just kind of can't help to be magnificent, but to shine its light and to do what it does, for the benefit of all of us, but also just because it can't help it, right? And when we're in Leo, we get a little bit of that confidence with us that says, yes, I've got something special, and it's something that I can't help but bring to every situation. And when I bring that to the situation gets better, the situation improves, or the situation is, maintained in goodness. So, we take that attitude for ourselves, a little self-confidence in what it is that we bring to the table. And also, it's a good time to dramatize and demonstrate our appreciation for other people in the way that they shine as well. And Mercury is in Leo right now, so Mercury is already on top of that. Before the sun went into Leo, Mercury went in a few days ago, and Mercury is just like, yep, that's what we're doing. We're expressing appreciation, and we're expressing our own fabulousness as well. That's what we do when we're in Leo. It can be a little bit more of a dramatic flair, and it can be a lot more demonstrative in terms of showing people how we feel about them, showing people the love and the care that we have to give them. Now, the care that we have to give in Leo is like the care that the sun gives, which is, it's great that the sun shows up, but also there is such a thing as too much sun for just about any living thing. So, we have to be careful not to shine too brightly, which is not to say that we should hide our lights at all. Just to be careful not to be overwhelming in our gifts when we give them. And then on the moon side of the page today, we start in Taurus. Actually, we'll be in Taurus all day long, and the moon makes ingress to Gemini 11 minutes after midnight tomorrow night. So it's really a grounded earth vibe feeling. We're in fixed earth in the heart and home. So, we love the material resources and the comforts of home. And, we just seek to be well resourced and grounded. And we're in this waning crescent moon, which is a time when we are actively decreasing our possessions. Possessions specifically, I say, because we're in Taurus today, and Taurus is about material resources. So, this is the time to actually be taking the clothes that you want to donate off to the thrift store, and, pushing the stuff out of your house that isn't working for you anymore. On the moon side of the page, we have a few things going on today. The moon goes square to Saturn this morning, and this can really be a difficult time. That's going to be around 11 to 1 o'clock in the middle of the day. It can be a difficult time for people. We can get a little depressed. There can be some, feelings of dissatisfaction with ourselves or just our situation. There can be some just really low feelings. Just understand that if you're feeling low like that, it's not permanent. Okay, in a couple of hours we're going to go sextile to Neptune, and that's going to be a more positive connected vibe. And I understand that when we're feeling very low, sometimes we don't feel really up to sharing those those emotions in the moment with other people. If you're feeling desperate or overwhelmed, please find some way to share how you're feeling, or to at least articulate how you're feeling in such a way that you can kind of go back and look at it objectively, like writing in a journal or talking to a friend. Okay, and then Moon goes sextile to Neptune at 2:45, and that's a much more positive, connected vibe. That sextile is cooperative. It produces good outcomes. It generates something. Okay, so if we take that opportunity to sort of feel the energy of the people around us, because we're more sensitive at that time, then just being in that connection and that vibration of the people around us that we keep close can be really positive for us. And then at 6:45 this evening, Moon goes trine to Pluto, another beautiful positive vibe. Emotional transformations are not just available right now, they are blessed by that trine functioning. It's like angels on high have said, you can have an emotional transformation today, or an intuitive transformation, or even a creative transformation. It's all kind of the same thing. Okay, so look out for those opportunities to be transformed. And then you see we go straight into that void of course, where the Moon is relatively unfiltered because it's in between signs. So for 5.5 hours there, we have this great space of time where we can journal, meditate, paint, whatever it is that we do. Check in with your intuitive resources like your tarot, so that you can get in touch with yourself, your own moon, your own feelings, your own internal experience, and with spirit. Okay, because by getting in touch with yourself and your own moon, you kind of connect to the spirit out there. And that's a great time to do that, because we don't have to work through a filter. And then it also technically spans midnight, so ritual and spell work would be probably appreciated at later on this evening. And if I were going to do ritual and spell work, it would be around successful decrease, right? And my ability to hopefully release my attachments to sort of outdated or unhelpful notions, thoughts, ideas, attitudes, dispositions that are no longer serving me, so that when I get to that new moon, I'm a fresh person, I have a fresh perspective, and I'm ready to get freshly inspired, right? After that void of course, at 11 minutes after midnight tonight, Moon moves into Gemini. That's 2.5 day transit. And it's just a time when we listen and share. It's very playful, it's very communicative, and I really want to emphasize the listening and the communication at this time. On the sun side of the page, Sun goes into Leo at 3:07 this afternoon. We cannot help it but to shine when the sun is in Leo. So if you feel a little magnificent, if you feel a little grand, if you feel like you want to sort of bless people with your blossoming, shining presence, you would not be alone. Okay, so definitely, dress sharp, look your best, be your beautiful, inspiring self, and be ready to also demonstrate your appreciation for how beautiful and inspiring other people are. And then again, after midnight at 12:58, sun goes sextile to Moon. That indicates the shape of that waning crescent moon, and it's a good cooperative working vibe for that effort that we're making to let things go. We have a lot of stuff going on in the ongoing column, and a lot of it has to do with these various retrogrades. Okay, Chiron, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto are all retrograde. Jupiter's going to go retrograde next. I would say that we're getting well and good into retrograde season. Wait till we get Mars retrograde. Wait till we get Uranus retrograde, right? We're going to have a heck of a retrograde season this year, friends. North Node is conjunct to Uranus right now, and this is like shifting trajectories, right? While Pluto is retrograde, saying, yep, we're going through changes. This is Pluto's final retrograde in Capricorn for all of our natural lives. We will never see it happen again. And so if we are going through some intense personal changes, I mean, they could be so deep that we don't even really necessarily know everything about what's going on there. We just like, oh, I feel like I'm going through something here, right? So change is afoot and it's available. But this Sun opposite Pluto says, there might be some power struggles. So try not to get bogged down in any struggles for control, because these changes, these transformations are coming on. And what if you're trying to get control of something that you no longer need control of, right? So that's a good question to be asking for yourself. Also, with Neptune and Saturn retrograde, we kind of open our eyes to find that we are each part of a collective experience. We know how much and how well we've been participating according to our own standards. And so we know what we have to do if we have not been. And, that Neptune retrograde is just this blessing of being able to tell the difference between the fantasy and the reality, which is not to say that we can't see the fantasy anymore, just that we can tell the difference. And Sun is trine to Neptune, and Chiron is retrograde. Some of the healing that we seek is going to come easier when we choose to participate in the community. The Sun trine Neptune really calls us out to the community to do some sort of like volunteer work or to help somebody out that we know needs help. It's sort of almost a continuation of that Cancer nurturing care, be the person out there in the park giving away water or whatever it is that you have to do to make sure that you've done your part to feel as though the people around you have been nurtured and protected. And when you do that, that trine is really a blessing. The benefits will come back to you. They will be more than you really thought or realized that they would be. So with all of that said, we have the Page of Wands. So we got fire and fire, friends. On the first day of Leo, fire and fire. So the Page of Wands is part of the royal court of the Wands nation, okay? And like I said, Wands are about fire. They're about drive, spark, passion, inspiration, okay? It's a very go-get-em kind of feeling. It's about things that are so exciting to you that they actually make you want to get up and go do something about it, right? So that's really exciting. And the Page of Wands represents kind of a youthful figure, or I would say even a youthful enthusiasm. This one is sort of looking off and up into the future as though anything is possible. Little wind in the hair there. And what this says is this person has a lot of drive. They have a lot of spark. They have a lot of initiative. They're ready to get going. Okay, this person is wearing practical shoes, right? And what they probably lack in experience, they make up for in enthusiasm, okay, and initiative, and ability to just go ahead and get started, and an ability to just go ahead and move forward without dithering very much about details, right? The Page of Wands says, okay, we'll find out when we get there, right? Let's just go. We'll find out what we need when we get there. So, I can see that coming up with our Sun entering Leo for sure today. The Page of Wands would be more of, I think, an Aries figure than a Leo figure, because Aries is cardinal fire. It's more youthful, and Leo is actually fixed fire, so it's more a slightly more mature level. But it really kind of depends on the fire sign, honestly. Almost all fire signs have a reputation for being a little impetuous, a little restless, a little bit, sort of ready to go off and do the damn thing without really worrying about the consequences, on the front end of things. Okay, so just understand that might be a vibe that you're dealing with in yourself or in other people at this time, as the Sun. The Sun wants to make a start getting out into the community here, and it says that there's a blessing there to do that. But also, the Sun says we are possibly dealing with some struggles for control, okay? And with a Page of Wands, with an inexperienced person, that might be even a struggle for self-control, okay? So pay attention to, what the fire is asking you to do on the page. We can't help it but to be ourselves, to be, impetuous, to be forward, to be sort of restless and impatient to get started, right? And not really caring about how much experience we have, because, I can hear the Page of Wands in my ear saying, how am I going to get any experience unless I get started, right? So, just be aware that when you're in that fire sign vibe, when the sun is in Leo and we're feeling magnificent and fabulous and like a gift to the earth, and we're understanding and seeing that in all of the people around us as well, that that doesn't mean that we're not going to blunder, and it doesn't mean that we know everything. It just means that we feel like we've got something worth sharing regardless, and probably we do, okay? So also don't discount that Page of Wands when you see them out there with the sun in Leo acting all fabulous, and pretend to yourself that they don't have something to offer because you feel unimpressed with the way that they are strutting about. And then on the sun side, that's funny, taken together with the Five of Wands, or one thing I'm going to say, I count 6 wands here. So 6 of Wands is V for victory. Six of Wands is a reminder to celebrate whatever victories you have. But we see Five of Wands, and this is really more of a battle of passions, a battle of wits, a battle of enthusiasms, okay? A battle of drive, but all above the belt, and nobody's really getting hurt, okay? If anybody's swinging at anything, they're swinging at other people's sticks, not at other people's heads or at other people's bodies, okay? So let's keep it a clean fight, okay? When the sun is in a fire sign, we are all a little less rational and more impulsive and a little more fiery and a little more likely to get into a little fight or fracas. So just hit above the belt, friends, okay? Let's be kind. Let's not drag things to the extreme just because we can, to show everybody that we will dominate and we will win, okay? Sometimes it's nice just to have a little friendly competition, and you don't have to necessarily come out on top in a friendly competition every time. And taken together with the Page of Wands, which is what I was trying to do, I'm going to say you also, because look at this, these people are fighting in fracas, and this person is off to the side over here, sort of looking off into the distance, imagining what's going to happen next. So also when you see that fight and fracas coming on, or even if you find yourself in it, you have the opportunity at all times to withdraw from that experience, okay? To take your passion and drive and say, if I can't get these people to work with me, then I've just got to go and do this on my own. And it's going to be like, I was really hoping to have the experience of some of those older people, or have the skills of some of those more technical people, but I'm just going to go ahead and work this out on my own because I want to rise above the fight and the fracas. Yeah, I believe that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.